first of all, hello everyone. I'm glad you're all able to make our first group discussion of the year. I want to start off by saying congratulations. You made it to CGI U 2021. I'm sure some of you may be asking yourselves, well, what now, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm sure if you visited the Google Classroom, there's a lot of stuff on there. So it might seem like a little overwhelming right now, but we'll go through it and hopefully clarify a few things that if some questions you may still have. So with that said, my name is Gilberto Verdugo, but you can call me Gilbert, Gilberto, Mentor, Mr. Mentor. It doesn't really matter to me what you call me. Just as long as you do it with respect, I'm fine. Sorry, it says here somebody can't hear. Mina, I'm sorry. Can you hear me, Mina? Are you okay? Sorry. Okay, so again, going back to me, this is my second consecutive year as a CGI U mentor. I have a master's degree in environmental sustainability. My career focus has been on waste management. I've been working as a zero waste specialist out of Los Angeles for the last 4 years. I have a wide range of knowledge and experience that I can share with you in case I can't, and in case I can't help you with anything, please visit the mentor directory. Sure, they will be able to help you. There's a lot of mentors with a lot of different skill sets that will be they'll be there to help you. Here, let me just scroll down over here. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Yes, okay, yep. Great. All right, so for this, all right, so this is what I would recommend. I have our classroom right here in one of my bookmark tabs in my toolbar. So, I can just access it, just click it right here and it'll take us straight to our classroom. Now, has everybody had a chance to log into the classroom and able to kind of go through it and see all the assignments on there? Have you guys been able to do it? Okay, so what I want you all to do, if you haven't been able to log into the Google Classroom, please let me know. There could be an issue with maybe you're signing in with the wrong email, something like that. It could be fixed. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to go over here with, I don't know what it looks like for you guys, but for me, there's another classroom here for, at least for the mentors, but for you mentees, I'm pretty sure you guys have a mentee lounge area where they kind of post general announcements about CGIU and that kind of stuff. So if you scroll down over here, I'm sorry, if you go to classwork right there, that middle tab, you'll see a lot of different topics, communications, emails, all this other different stuff. You got to scroll all the way down, and right here where it says resources, you go to CGI U mentor directory and you click on that. And then right here, so here is a list of all the mentors. If you look at their keyword, say here Abe Lopez is for good health and well-being. Adriano, infectious diseases. The list goes on. So you go through the directory and see, in case I'm not able to help you with your CTA, or if you have a specific question that I may not be able to answer, you can always go to the directory, schedule office hours with one of these mentors. My office hours, I'm going to make myself available for 4 hours per week. I'm going to have open office hours on Mondays from 10 to 12. So, and you can schedule 15-minute or 30-minute individual coaching sessions. I'll go through the process right now so you can see what it looks like if you want to schedule a one-on-one coaching session. So if you want to find me, you scroll all the way down here. There I am. And if you go right here, you click on this link, then you click on right here. That'll take you to my Calendly link. So right here, you can either register for a 15-minute meeting I mean, that's usually if you just have a quick question, or if you don't have a whole lot of time, but you want to go over something really quickly, then by all means, we'll be fine. 30 minutes is if you want to go a little bit more in depth, if you want to share a little bit more specifics about your CTA, if you have some type of topic or issue question. So here, what we can do, click on 30-minute meeting. And if you see, that'll take you to this calendar page. So right here where there's like these blue bubbles here, you see that is for Mondays and Thursdays. So my office hours are going to be Mondays mornings from 10 to 12 and Thursdays from 5 to 7. So, at least that's what I'm committed to do right now. I'm going to gauge the participation to see whether or not, to kind of go down with, to be able to see what, maybe take away an hour or something, just so we can be on the same page. But so if you want to click on schedule a meeting with me on Thursday, say you want to go at 5 and you confirm, and then you can share your name, your email, and then anything that like mainly the topics that you want to discuss with the meeting. It would be useful for you to write a little note here, so you can so that I know ahead of time at least what the conversation is going to be about, and it gives me time to prepare. And again, since it's only going to be like a 30-minute session, like it keeps things concise, but we're productive and we get to do what we need to do. So okay, all right, so that's that. Now what I'm going to do here, give me 1 second. All right, so stop sharing and back. All right, guys. So the next item that I want to talk about, let's see. All right, so once you've identified the mentor, if I can't help you with something, but you do have to schedule individual coaching session, you have to do so by April 16th. Okay, so that's something that you all should write down right now, or at least keep in the back of your mind that you have to sign up for an individual coaching session by April 16th. Again, you don't have to do it with me, but as long as you do it, then that's fine. If you have any issues or problems, say if you want to set up a one-on-one coaching session with a different mentor, let me know. That way I can reach out to them and let them and introduce you to them, and and see if you can get together on the same page. So all right, so what I'm going to do now, let's see. So now that that's out of the way, so I'm going to talk a little bit about CGI U's annual meeting being held virtually this year. So as you're all aware, COVID-19 has been a very devastating pandemic that has taken many things from us. One of them being being able to have large group gatherings, such as the annual CGI U meeting. Unfortunately, last year was particularly difficult for me. I mean, I guess it's my first year as a mentor. So it was kind of like a lot of new things, and then all of a sudden this huge pandemic, and then compounded on top of that with the social unrest here in the States, with the Black Lives Matter and all these different protests happening. And that's needless to say, there was just like a lot of things happening last year. So it was very difficult, for me, and it's also very difficult for my mentees last year. It was very unfortunate that the meeting had to get canceled. I kept trying to, be positive and say, maybe it'll just get postponed. They'll host it at some other point. Unfortunately, it got canceled and it got switched over to having a virtual meeting, same as we have this year. So, but that's kind of the thing that I kind of want to talk about right now, at least with my expectations of you, or as my mentees. See, because my mentees, the ones that I had last year, um, they were faced with a lot of difficult challenges that were just like emerging. Now we've been living in these conditions for about a year. So I don't know, like I've been able to kind of like make some adjustments and, you know, kind of find a good level ground. But again, it's really about getting grounded and like, it's really important to have a sound mental state right now too. So one of the things that my mentees showed me though that was really, really important is that they showed a lot of grit, a lot of resilience, a lot of determination and commitment to excellence. By commitment to excellence, I don't mean that they were trying to be perfect. I just mean like they were just trying their hardest to do the best they can with what they had. That's what I mean when I mean to be resilient. Like, don't give up. Just don't stop ever. Don't, whatever the case may be, you need to keep moving. You need to keep striving for more and always look at things with an optimistic point of view. Because it does nobody any good to linger in, and bad thoughts, and that kind of stuff. So, with that said, like at least my approach with my mentees is that I was really clear with them in terms of my expectations of them under these circumstances. Unfortunately, some dropped out, but most stuck with it. And many of the mentees that stuck with it, they had to change some things about their CTAs, again, given the new circumstances. So, some had to change the whole thing altogether, right? Like mid-course, they have to change their CTA again, because it's just impossible to do their CTA. Now, like you can't even gather in even 5 or 6 group meetings or that kind of stuff. So it's just a lot of things. But nevertheless, seeing the effort they were putting into whatever it is that they were doing, like it breathed new hope into me, and like at least in a time when I needed it the most. Like it was, again, like it was a really difficult time here. And like one of the things that kind of motivates me and inspires me to be a mentor is that you guys breathe hope into me. Like I learn a lot from you as much as you may learn from me. So this is an exchange here, guys. Like it's not like I'm talking down to you or like I'm like, oh, I'm the big chief or boss. Nah, don't, or authority figure. No, I'm just like you. I'm a CGI U alum. I've had a few years working in the professional field. I'm just like you. I'm just like person that's just trying to make the world a better place, whichever way I can. And that I'm pretty sure that's a mentality that a lot of you share. I mean, you're in CGIU, so obviously, you have that drive, you have that passion. So that's something that, again, that really drives me and it motivates me to do better in my own career, in my own life. And again, it's just one of those things that it's an exchange. Okay, so that's how I want it to be, but I also want to be very clear and very direct with you guys, because things are not easy at all at anywhere right now. There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of different things that just emerged over the last year and a half, that have been boiling over for decades, but all of a sudden, here we are now. And this is the world that we have now, and unfortunately, there's a lot of problems, and it's not going to be easy. But in times like that, especially with your CTA, the important thing is to understand why you're doing what you're doing. That's one of the most important things for you to pinpoint and to understand what drives you, what motivates you just to do anything, really. Anything. I mean, at this point, like what drives you, what motivates you, what gets you up out of bed in the morning? Is it like, oh, do you want to make some change happen, or are you looking to learn something new, or whatever the case may be, whatever it is that you're passionate about, whatever it is that drove you to do your CTA, that's the thing that you kind of have to hang your hat on to be able to continue and be resilient and to not quit, because that's the main thing of it all, is to not quit. Some of the most successful people in the world were extraordinary failures. To be honest with you, I've failed more times than I've succeeded in my life. However, I feel like that doesn't define who I am, because I've still been able to, overcome a lot of those difficulties. And a lot of that stems from, confidence in myself and understanding that, I've gone through a lot of challenges. I've overcome a lot of difficulties. So I know who I am, and I have total and unwavering faith and belief in myself that I can accomplish whatever it is that I set my mind out to do. And that's what you have to do, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to tell you no. There's going to be a lot of people that tell you ain't good enough. There's going to be people who are going to tell you, like, you suck, straight up. Like, there's a lot of rude people, like a lot of people that just don't even want to hear it. And again, like, especially in today's day and age, with people are just seem to be so divided. But how do you bridge that gap, and how do you continue to move in spite of it seeming like you're bouncing your head against the same wall over and over and over again? And then no matter how many times you go through it, and no matter how hard you hit it, it's still the same wall, right? So that's what I want you all, to, at least, if you want to get anything out of your experience in CGIU, is understanding that success is just a thing, okay? Failure is also just a thing. What's real is life, okay? Your life. Because the way I see it, at least for me, the only thing that's going to stop me from doing what I am doing is death, because I'm going to continue to do whatever it is that I am doing regardless, because that's what I'm here to do. I don't know what it is, and over time, again, you get to define that with your own experiences and your own life going through it. It kind of, you start prioritizing things, and you start to understand what are the most important things to you. And again, those always seem to be the ones that drive you. Like, for some people, it's family. I don't know if some of you may have children, but if you do, like, you understand, like, if you have a kid, that's your world right there. You have a family, that's your world. Your friends, whatever it is that motivating you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, that's what you have to hang your hat on, and continue regardless of what the circumstances are. Like I said, I mean, I believe I'm your mentor for a reason. I always used to tell my mentees last year. Like I said, I failed so many times. I mean, I got kicked out of my school after my first year for being a knucklehead, right? And it happens to a lot of people. I was first in my family to go to college, but and I learned a lot from that experience. I mean, who's to say, like, I mean, I'll have a master's degree now, right? So it's kind of like, so, you know what I mean? So, like, you can't let any failures define you, okay? You can always bounce back. You can always come back. It's fine, guys, if you fail. But again, if you fail, do so spectacularly, like the biggest that you can, at least because again, that's the thing that's gonna, like, teach you the most lessons, right? But I digress anyways. So the next item that I do want to talk about is the annual CGIU meeting that's happening next week. So this year, it almost seems like it caught the meeting has caught everybody by surprise. Usually we'll have a meeting around later in the year, but like this year, because a lot of things got truncated and moved further on the dates, now we have CGIU meeting basically in the first couple of weeks of CGIU. So there's a lot. It's gonna be a lot. And all I want is to be able to prepare you for what to expect. So with that said, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to go back to Google Classroom to show you guys here. Where is it? Okay. So we go to Google Classroom, right? And then you got to go to classwork. Up here, there's these tabs right here. So you go stream, classwork, people, grades. Whenever you want to find an assignment or an announcement or anything like that, go to our Team Verdugo, and click on classwork. On stream, there's also announcements on stream here. These are like some of the newer things that have just been posted up in the classroom. But go to classwork, and then you scroll down to this part. It says announcements. So it says the read the CGI U meeting. You keep going down. Here it goes, 2021 meeting. So you click on this first one, and it gives you the schedule. So as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 days. There's 4 days, and it starts on Tuesday, moving all the way until Friday. If you notice, these sessions begin at 3 p.m. However, this is Eastern time. All right, please make sure to note that this is Eastern time. So if you're all in the Pacific time zone, remember 3 o'clock is going to be like 1 or 12. I'm bad with that, honestly, but you'll figure it out, right? I'm sure you will. Like there's Google stuff where you can figure that out anyways. But the important thing is look over the schedule and identify the sessions that you wish to attend, because honestly, like it's a lot, right? I mean, these sessions are going from like 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. and I understand that a lot of you may be busy with classwork or with work, or maybe busy just with a lot of different things. But again, I think the important thing is to kind of look it over and look at the ones that you think are going to be the most beneficial to you, and make sure to mark them down on your calendar and make yourself available to attend those meetings. So again, this is going to be held virtually. This year, CGIU wants to use this platform. It's called Hopin. I don't know if it's Hopin or Hopin or I don't know, Hopin probably, I don't know. But they want you to use this platform to be able to connect and network with other CGIU students. I've never used this platform before, so I'm not really familiar with it. If anybody's familiar with it, please, like if you have anything to share about your experience, can you please share a little bit about it now? It would be really, really nice.
I've used Hopin at a hackathon before. And it's essentially like this large, you can think of it as a website which just aggregates different different links and a set of rooms. So like if in the context of that, yeah, in a way like Zoom, but then they're like individual rooms for each thing. So it'll be like, at least in that hackathon, there are different rooms for sponsors. There's a room for the organizers. There's a room for participants to come together, form teams. And Hopin even has all these links where you can sign up for sessions, and also like a main homepage where it'll detail a schedule and where to go to do what, like a Q&A chat floating kind of thing. And it's like, I'd say like an interactive online world. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mohit. So there you go. So they want you to use this open platform. However, one of the things that I want to do is I want to set up an informal communication channel between all of us in the group. One of the ways I plan to do that is I want to start like a WhatsApp chat. Are y'all familiar with WhatsApp? Y'all know WhatsApp? Okay. The reason why I'm using WhatsApp is because it was just really useful. I used it last year, and it was a really good way for all the people in our group to kind of chat with each other, like throughout the year, because again, sometimes you want to talk about something, or you want to say something, and you don't want to like send a formal email or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to open up a chat channel, and I'm going to invite you guys so that you guys can participate and be in the chat, talk amongst each other. If there's, say for example, one of you is attending a plenary session and you're like, oh wow, this is something that person X in our group they might find useful, like and that kind of stuff. So so again, it's just an informal channel for communication for you guys. So feel free to use it, and also feel free to communicate with me. Again, like informally, we don't have to set up like individual coaching sessions. that kind of stuff. Like if it's something quick, you just chat me and then we can talk about it on there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking our group approach is going to be for the meeting in particular. So again, we'll just keep an eye out for my invitation this weekend. I'm going to work on it, and hopefully by Monday, y'all are in it, and that way we can just use it for the meeting. So the other thing that's on here is the CGIU 2021 meeting workbook. There's two versions. It's the same thing. This one is a Google Docs. This one's a PDF. This one will allow you to write notes. I'm just going to click on the PDF right now so you guys can take a look at it. It has some useful information regarding the meeting. You kind of scroll down, and here you can look over some of the details, connect with like-minded young leaders, all these different things. A space for you to write notes. More space for you to write notes. Again, like you don't have to use this, you don't have to write notes on here, but I think it would be useful at least to use it while you're going through the CGIU meeting to kind of help guide you and get the most out of the meeting. This page right here is for the networking aspect of CGIU. Again, I think this is gonna a lot of you may have to partake in a lot of you may have to partake in networking sessions through the other platform. So again, like when you come across somebody that may be useful, or because the thing that's really cool about the CGIU meeting, guys, and like unfortunately it's something that you guys may not get a chance to experience, but it's a really cool opportunity to go and meet people from basically all over the world. And again, like-minded people, everybody's there because with the same mentality, they just want to make the world a better place, whichever way they can. Everybody has their own projects. And what's really interesting about the CGIU meeting as well is that sometimes there may be people who are working on similar CTAs. Sometimes you can come across some people that may look at your CTA from a different angle, and that might be useful. Or like sometimes it's useful to have like a different viewpoint to get you over a hump. Sometimes sometimes you might come across an obstacle or a challenge, and maybe looking at it from a different angle is going to help you overcome it. That's why sometimes a collaboration with groups and teams and other people is really, really good and useful. So here again, this is an option. So this is a section for you to write notes. You can keep going. Day 2, some of it you can start looking at this now, or maybe over the weekend or on Monday, to see some of the topics that are going to be talked about throughout the meeting. Kind of get a head start in understanding exactly what they're going to be talking about. Like for day 2, there's like climate change and environmental justice. There's making democracy work, restoring trust, and expanding participation. That's a challenging issue. So yeah, just go over the workbook. Again, it goes over the agenda in great detail, and also a space for you to write notes. So, okay. All right, now everybody, the next thing that I do want to talk about, let me see. Okay, so this brings me to the last item for this discussion, and I do want to talk about elevator pitches. So some of you have not done the Flipgrid activity. I'm looking at some of you, but please, when you get a chance, you know what? Let me just screen share that as well, so you guys can take a look and see where it is exactly. So if you go to the Google Classroom and you go up, here is my little corner for you guys. Like whenever I have something to tell you guys, like an announcement coming from me, or an assignment coming from me, I'm going to post it right here, a message from your mentor. This is the topic section. So if you go here and click on Flipgrid introductions, so you click on the link and it'll take you to this page. And here, so I've made available all the ones that, all the responses that I've gotten so far. Thank you all that have participated so far. It's great. I wanted to make this activity as a way for you all to introduce yourself, not only to me, but to the rest of the group. And also I wanted to take it as sort of like a practice for your pitch, for your elevator pitch. If you took a chance to read the prompt, you'll see that it's only a 30-second video. So that means that you guys have to be concise, right? And that's part of, doing your elevator pitch. It's being concise, straight to the point, but you also have to be able to connect with the person that you're talking to. This is why I asked you guys, why are you doing your CTA? I didn't ask you specifically what your CTA was. I want to know why you're doing your CTA. Give me a story. Tell me why it's important for you to do what you're doing. Why are you passionate about what you're doing? It's a way for you to connect not only with me, but with other people and networking with other people. It's a way for you to be able to connect again. One of the modules that it's going to come further along, but I do want to give you a sort of a bit of a head start so that you guys can understand about how to craft a good elevator pitch, is the concept of storytelling. So if you can condense your CTA into a story that kind of connects with what you're passionate about and why you're doing what you're doing, I think that's a really strong way of communicating with others and expressing your not only your CTA, but why you're doing it. And you're more likely to get a positive response when you're able to connect with people at that level. It's a very, again, you got to think about a story that like humanizes whatever CTA that you're doing. Again, like, why do you think there's a need for you to do what you're doing? So, and it goes back to the idea of motivation and drive and what is the things that are driving you. So those are some of the things that I want you guys to think about as you're crafting your elevator pitches. I'm going to share the screen one more time. So if you go here to the Google Classroom, you go, again, classwork, you scroll all the way down here to Module 1, Core Skills to Prepare for CGI U. Right here it says crafting your elevator pitch. This is just a recorded webinar. Take a chance and to watch the webinar. Try to get as much of it out of it as you can. And here is this startup Mad Libs. I don't know. These are just some ideas to kind of get you going in terms of crafting your elevator pitch. Like, what's the name of your CTA? Is developing. Okay, what is it, a service or is it a tool, or what is it that you're offering? A defined audience. Again, this is probably the most key aspect of it all, really, when you're crafting your elevator pitch, is who is your audience? Who are you talking to? Are you talking to a potential donor? Are you talking to a community member? Are you talking to a colleague? Who are you talking to? And that's really important. That's going to help you kind of define your elevator pitch, define your audience. Again, who are you talking to? So here it goes, solve a problem, and then secret sauce. I don't know what that means, but sounds kitschy and interesting. But again, that's your sort of like twist, right? Like, that's your story. That's your spin on it, like your way to connect with that person and show the value of your CTA to the other person that you're trying to talk to. Again, it might be an investor, it might be, who knows, somebody, right? Like, again, define who the audience is and tailor your pitch in that way, and that'll help you kind of like craft it in that manner. So with that said, I am going to all right, so those are all the items that I wanted to go through with you. again, please go through and look at your elevator pitch and try to get it done. I believe there's a deadline there too, it's April 16th. So in about a month, that'll give us some time to go over some details about elevator pitches and that kind of stuff. But it's one of those things to start thinking about. And in case you haven't done your Flipgrid activity yet, go ahead and do so. Again, that's your practice, and that's your way of introducing yourselves, not to me, but to the rest of the group. And yeah, so with that said, I am going to shut up now, and I'm going to leave it open for you guys for comments and for questions. Anything you guys may, whatever it is on your mind, now's the time. I'm going to leave these next few minutes open for that. So let me see. I need to be able to unmute you. Oops, sorry. Okay. So. Okay. So does anybody have any questions, any comments, concerns, anything about, say, for example, maybe the CGI U meeting, something you might be excited about, anything?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. My name is Borna. I'm from Canada.
So hi, Borna. Nice to see you.
Yeah. I just have two quick questions. First of all, is that as I was going through the Flipboard and I was just looking at other people's introduction, I saw that a couple of groups have similar CTs to me and my peers. And I was wondering, is there an opportunity for us to perhaps collaborate together to create a, I guess, better platform? Or do we strictly have to stay within our own groups?
So if you want to collaborate, say if there's other students that have similar CTAs, I suggest go ahead and do it. Okay. Collaborate and share ideas with them. That's fine. Again, like we all have different backgrounds, but the way that CGIU groups were put together this year is all according to time zone. Okay. So I believe a lot of us are kind of like in that Pacific time zone. So that's why we're all aligned with the same group. That's why I was saying, if there's something specific about your CTA that I can't help you with, please feel free to schedule a coaching session with a mentor who may be more experienced with that topic. So again, go ahead and do so. Like I said, this program is designed for you to get out of it as much as you put in. So if you put in, a great amount or a great deal of effort, you're gonna get a lot in return. And one of the most rewarding things too, from participating in CGIU is making connections with other people who are like-minded and are also doing similar work to what you're doing, but who may be somewhere else around the world. And that's kind of like one of the really cool things about CGIU. It's like you get to connect with people like that. So, again, like at some point, you may not be working on your CTA. At some point, you may stop. Like me personally, for my CTA, I started a community garden in Riverside, California. Like it's one of the most, there was a community, it was like, like downtrodden and it's just like a lot of violence is pretty bad. So, I got together with a group. We decided to do a community garden, and it was actually pretty successful. Since it was like right next to a school, we were able to sort of like make a little section for teachers to take their classes in case they wanted to take them outside, and the garden was there. So I think it was a really good, positive project. However, unfortunately, again, like that project, it's one of those community investment projects where you do a lot of work, right? You're working, and you're trying to teach people, and you're trying to, increase outreach. But the thing about that sort of work is that once they learn how to do it and fend for themselves and do it themselves, it's kind of like they don't need you anymore, right? And it's kind of it's weird and it kind of sucks, but that's really like when you know that you've been successful. It's like when they don't need you, it's like you know that you did a good job because they're self-sufficient, they're relying on themselves as a community, which is what like you aspire them to do. um so like when I go back and I visit the garden and I see that it's still there and there's people participating, like it makes me feel good that like I played a role in that. And like, you know, to see that over time, you know, even when you're not even involved in it anymore and it's still there and like there's people getting something out of it, like it's awesome, guys. It's a really awesome, rewarding experience. And you know, like you may go ahead, you may go through your professional lives. You know, a lot of people like find themselves working jobs that like are maybe are unsatisfying or anything, something like that. Again, find the thing that drives you and motivates you, you know, and kind of tailor your life around those types of things, right? You know, and try to maximize the most out of your life experience, honestly, because that's what it's about right now is, you know, maximizing your life experience. Because again, there's so many things that are different and like upside down from where it used to be. Hopefully we can get back to some level of normalcy. I have my doubts about that, but again, the optimist in me says that hope never dies, and we just have to continue to work and have to continue to keep moving. So does anybody have any other questions, any comments, concerns, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name, but Umina, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but you, please correct me, but you mentioned in the chat that it might be a good idea to go around and do short introductions, and I know they're on the Flipgrid, but I think, Gilberto, you said something earlier about how we should, like in case we're in one of the networking things and we hear something that we might want to connect other people to that might not necessarily apply to us, I think it might be helpful if we all went around and gave like 3 keywords that have to do with our CTA or whatever, so that if we hear those in a networking meeting, we know that we can come back to our team and like, we're a team, so we can work together, you know, and like not necessarily have to go into the details of the CTA, but just like general keywords in case we hear somebody talk about it, and then we can connect.
I like that, Tessa. I like that a lot. Actually, you want to get us started off?
Sure. Also, I go by Tessa. I can't change it on the Zoom, but yeah. So I'm Tessa. I think the 3 keywords that would be most important to my CTA, if anybody talks about air quality management, environmental justice, or social media marketing, those are the things that pertain to my CTA. So if anybody hears about those, please let me know. I'm gonna popcorn to, yeah. Umina, do you want to go? Sorry.
That's okay. I go by you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Actually,
Okay.
I actually here before we continue, I just want before you introduce yourself, I just want you to say your name and how you prefer for it to be pronounced, or how do you pronounce it, and you know what you prefer to be called. Okay, that's it. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you. So my name is Umaina, but I go by Yumi. And my partner is Sonia. We're both part of Spotbox, and I think Sonia like, I want to do this together because we're on the same team. But for our CTA, like 3 keywords that we would like to, I guess, would be like menstruation, ungendered, and what do you think, Sonia?
I think like menstrual equity, and that would be a big one. And just as a reintroduction, I'm Sonia. I work with Yumi. We have the same CTA. But yeah, I would say menstrual equity, kind of inclusivity in terms of, you know, your menstrual cycle. So those are kind of our key things.
Great, thank you. Let's see. I'm going to popcorn it, and I'm going to toss it over to Sangwoo, Michael.
Yeah, you guys.
I'm sorry. I might have butchered it. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. You can just call me Michael. I just like to include my my first name, my Korean name, because that's just how I legally go by. But just call me Mike or Michael. So I'm also working with Borna here for our CTA. We sort of dubbed it the food web, and so the 3 words that kind of exemplify our project is food insecurity, sustainability, and poverty. If any of you guys are also interested in that as a CTA, or have similar goals in mind. Borna and I would like to reach out and maybe talk to you guys about how far you guys are in your project, maybe bounce some ideas and brainstorm a bit. But I'm really excited to see what everyone else has in store for the rest of the year. So nice meeting all of you guys.
Thanks, Mike. Hey, listen. Little word of advice here. I'm actually, as a zero waste specialist, one of the things that I do is I try to come up with diversion solutions for our customers. Some of them include supermarkets. So one of the things that I do is I facilitate connections between customers like that, like supermarkets that generate a lot of organic waste, and try to salvage a lot of those foods, connecting them with our nonprofit partners. Here we have St. Francis Church. So, I mean, that's one of the things that, maybe I can explain a little bit more with you guys, like explore a little further with you guys for the coaching sessions, but great, fantastic, thank you. Palm coordinate over to Nisha. Nisha, hello.
Hey everyone, my name is Nisha, and I guess the three keywords would be, so I'm doing a project on like childhood stress, exposure to abuse and neglect, and then how we educate that about that to pediatricians. So I guess medical education, pediatrics, and then childhood stress or abuse and neglect.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, pop coordinate over to Mohit. So.
Hey everyone, I'm Mohit, and part of this group along with my teammates Rahul and Jalanch. I'd say my CTA in three keywords would be carbon footprint, technology, and sustainability.
Awesome, thank you. And finally, last but certainly not least, I think, please close us off.
Hi everyone. So my CTA is on population health management, especially for point of care neonatal area for neonatal jaundice and anemia. So three keywords will be population health management, jaundice, anemia, and point of care.
Awesome.
Thank
you. Thank you for that. All right, guys. Thank you all very much for introducing yourselves, for talking a little bit about your CTA. This concludes our first group discussion. Yay. So basically what I'm going to do moving forward is that whenever we're going to have a group discussion, I'm going to set up a forum over at the Google Classroom, kind of how I did for this group discussion. So when you go on there, please make sure to, like when I do put up the forum, please put up your responses, because that's gonna help me schedule our next group discussion. I just want to be able to schedule it at a time when I can get the most people here, so we can all attend and share the information. As I stated before, if you are at some point unable to attend, please let me know ahead of time. That's really important for me, so that I know that you guys are not going to be able to make it. I understand, like I said, I understand sometimes there's prior commitments, there's other things that happen. I totally understand. That's fine, but just let me know. It really does frustrate me when people just are like not responsive and like they're not at all. So like to me, it's like, well, what are they doing? What's going on with them? Like I really just want to know what's up with them. So thank you all for coming and participating. I really look forward to a great year. Again, chin up. Everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fantastic. I mean, things are way so much more positive around this time of this year than they were last year. So I think there's definitely things to look forward to. And this year, let's make the most of it. Let's really make the most of it, and let's get to work. All right. So with that said, I appreciate you coming here. And again, we'll stay in touch. Look for my invitation for the WhatsApp group, and then we'll go from there. Okay, guys. So enjoy the meeting. Get as much of it as much as you can. Try to get to as many meetings or sessions as you can. Try to get the most out of it. So again, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Okay, everybody. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.